Thank you very much for choosing the Uganda Catholic Television. I am Sunday Gloria Abwatch with the Friday edition of Uctv News. And now thousands of Catholics have today gathered at the Martyrs Shrine in Munyonyo to honor the enduring legacy of the Uganda Martyrs. The celebration of the 60th anniversary of the canonization of the Ugandan Martyrs has been celebrated by the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, His Grace Paul Temogerere, who hailed the sacrifice of the Uganda martyrs as a cornerstone of African church history, reuniting faith and paving path to Christ for generations.
Holy martyrs of Uganda, most divine.
The grounds of Munyonyo Martyrs Shrine were filled to capacity as thousands of people from all walks of life gathered to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the canonization of the Uganda Martyrs. The vibrant celebration began with a sermon and colorful procession. A long stream of clergy representing the various dioceses of Uganda, adorned in red vestments symbolizing the blood shed by the martyrs, set a tone for the day.
You take away the sins of the world.
The procession had prominent clergy, including His Grace Most Reverend Paul Temogerere, the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Kampala, the main celebrant. The Archbishop Augustine Kasucha was also among the Right Reverend Joseph Anthony Ziwa, Bishop of Chiinda Mitiana, and other notable participants included Monsignor Charles Kasibante, the Vicar General of Kampala Archdiocese, and Monsignor Richard Kayondo, the Vicar General of Lugazi Diocese. The vibrant atmosphere was further enriched by the diverse congregation comprising of political leaders like Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba and Salam Musumba, the religious leaders, ambassadors, local leaders, the youth and the elderly. The choir, predominantly composed of youth from the 5 provinces, animated the singing, with their hymns adding beauty to the celebration. In his homily, the Archbishop of the Kampala Archdiocese, His Grace Paul Temogerere, reflected on the enduring legacy of the Uganda martyrs, quoting Pope Paul VI. He reminded the congregation of the martyrs' pivotal role in anchoring Christianity in Africa and their ability to inspire hope.
Today we gather to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the canonization of Uganda martyrs. We honor the courageous witness of Charles Rwanga, Matthias Mulumba Kalemba, and their 20 companions who bravely laid down their lives for their faith. As Pope St. John Paul during his 1993 visit to Uganda, in his words, Pope St. Paul VI's words at their canonization in 1964 still resonate deeply. Who could foresee that we should one day list the beloved names of Charles Rwanga, Matthias Mulumba Kalemba and their 20 companions, alongside the great historical figures of African martyrs and confessors like Cyprian, Felicity, Perpetua, and Augustine.
The Archbishop described the Uganda martyrs as champions, heroes, and teachers, urging the faithful to venerate their sacrifice and emulate their steadfastness in faith.
The Uganda martyrs' sacrifice was a pivotal moment in African church history, hastening the rebirth of Christianity on the continent. Their unwavering faith and selfless witness ignited hope, illuminating the path to Christ for generations to come. These remarkable individuals embodied the truest African spirit, seamlessly integrating their ancestral values with their Christian faith.
The Archbishop highlighted the Uganda martyrs as pivotal figures in the establishment of Christianity on the African continent. Their unwavering faith brought hope and illuminated the path of Christ for generations to follow. By integrating Christian values into their lives, they became enduring symbols of courage and devotion.
60 years since their canonization, we venerate them as champions, heroes, and teachers. As scripture reminds us in the book of Daniel, the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, as we read in Daniel chapter 7 verse 18. Their legacy continues to inspire us to live faithfully, to witness courageously, and to lay down our lives for the gospel.
The celebration, rich in spiritual reflection and community spirit, was a powerful reminder of the Uganda Martyrs' role in shaping the history of Christianity in Africa. It called on everyone present to live lives worthy of faith and courage exemplified by the Uganda Martyrs. Nora Osende for Uctv News.
In order to enhance youth leadership and participation, ensuring a stronger and more engaged presence of young people in the Catholic Church, youth leaders and diocesan chaplains from the Mbarara Ecclesiastical Province have gathered at Hoima Diocese for an evaluation workshop of Catholic youth leaders. The event provided a platform for leaders to share best practices, reflect on their progress, and discuss the implementation of lessons learned.
These towns where link goes.
The Conference of Young Chaplains and Youth Leaders from Bara Ecclesiastical Province convened at Hoima Diocese to address the role of young people in a synodal church. The discussion centered on the ongoing synod on synodality, with a focus on the themes of participation, mission, and communion within the church.
With participation, the Catholic Church is encouraging all the youth leaders, all the Christians, all the baptized to be actively involved in the mission of the church, not to be onlookers, but to be participants, and in fact, to be active participants.
Father Paul, the youth chaplain of Fort Potro, highlighted the significance of the synodal journey, emphasizing the aspect of communion, describing it as a church being a family and missionary discipleship.
The church is a family. It should be communal. No competition, that we have to work together, and there's no saying that for me I'm greater than the other. No, we are all gifted and we have to work together as a family of God. Now, with the mission, as we know very well, as the Christians, we have the missionary mandate. When Jesus Christ said that you go into the whole world, baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Meaning, as baptized Christians, we have the role. We are missionary disciples.
The conference also evaluated last year's training of the Catholic youth leaders, as leaders shared best practices and reflected on the implementations of lessons learned during the training. Various topics were explored, reinforcing the importance of youth inclusion. The diocesan youth leaders shared the strides made by their youth in the dioceses.
I can ably give an example. Recently, we had the Life in the Spirit seminar where youth gathered at the diocese. They were taught this and that, and at the end of it all, we saw that if at all youth are given a chance, then we can be in a position to have a church of tomorrow that is strong and having a better foundation, which may not be in position to help other religious denominations outside there to take the youth. And again, we have also had confirmations both in schools and at the same time in our usual churches.
We have encouraged youth in different parishes to join church leadership, where many of our youth have joined church leadership and they have started evangelizing the gospel and doing other church activities like choir and other leadership within our church.
Meanwhile, Hoima Diocese has focused on the preparations of the upcoming National Youth Conference. Pastoral visits and charity activities at parish levels have been significant aspects of the engagement. The National Youth Coordinator urged the youth to implement their learning and embrace self-evaluation to improve leadership and participation.
When we come here, we do not come and collect information. I think I mentioned this right from the beginning, that you are youth leaders. Let us talk our things where we can get best lessons to pick from. Is that okay? We were speaking to ourselves. You are not speaking to Zako Joyce. You are speaking to yourselves, the words you are picking. And I don't encourage youth leaders to use this statement that when you are with the young people and you are not doing what they want you to do, they disintegrate. That is a very wrong statement, and I want you to correct it as leaders. That's why you are leaders. Is that okay? That is why you're leaders. Christ is challenging you to implement. He got challenges. Didn't Jesus get challenges? He got the challenges. So don't think you are a leader doing something for somebody out there. When we are talking about youth structures, we said the apostolate is you. It begins with you. And then to the members of the apostolate and to the leadership. Because the members are going to get leaders, not so.
Every Sunday, we have a youth program on Kasese Guide Radio, where we handle different issues that affect us as young people. Every Sunday, from 4 to 5, there's a talk show for the youth. So different youth leaders and different youth are invited from the different parishes of the diocese to come and handle different topics.
Also, we started interinstitutional masses for honorary students who are in tertiary institutions and universities. We make them every semester. It was there last Sunday. Economic activities. We give a great and a thank to the National Office for the Pigare project. And on this note, I'm sure, and I said that Madame Joy, Pigares were received by Mbarara, and then we divided all the dioceses accordingly.
The workshop reinforced the importance of youth as active participants in the life and mission of the Church in alignment of the principles of synod and synodality. Leaders and chaplains vowed to continue fostering communion, participation, and mission among the youth disciples within the Church.
Welcome back. Let's continue with Uctv News. And now, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, UBOS, has launched a series of activities to commemorate Africa Statistics Week. The celebrations began with a statistics orientation held at Statistics House in Kampala, where journalists and government communication officers were encouraged to use statistical data to enhance the credibility and objectivity of the information shared with the public.
The Uganda Bureau of Statistics, UBOS, has joined other African National Statistic Organizations, NSOs, to celebrate the annual Africa Statistics Week, which they have kick-started with a media breakfast meeting, during which participants were urged to leverage statistical data to enhance the credibility and objectivity of information they share with the public.
Statistics is the most brief and accurate way of getting information. It summarizes information in a simpler way that you can grasp it just on a glance. And that's why a number of people, when they want to tell lies, they go in stories. They will never tell you the specifics. Somebody will say, most people have died in an accident, but it doesn't tell you how many have done what? Died. But the statistics will tell you that in 1 week, we have lost 20 people, injured, then it is informant on the next stage. So there is education, there is information, there is policy.
All that mapping to know that a camera is needed here, a camera is needed there. We use the data we collect from members of the public, relying on the cases they register with us at our station diary books daily to know that there is a problem here. If a crime is reported at a certain point 3 times, 4 times a week, then we know there is a problem.
At the heart of our lives is statistics. Every day we use statistics. You might know it, you might not even know it, but you're using statistics.
The Deputy Executive Director of Uganda Media Center, Dennis Katunji, has also implored journalists to keep themselves informed to avoid shadow reporting and dissemination of poisonous information to their audiences.
And if you are not informed, you'll be misleading the public by, first of all, by the questions you ask and by your presentation in the media. So I call upon colleagues in this thread, please be informed. It's the first principle.
The event also targeted the Government Communication Officers Forum, GICOF members, who were also tasked with the responsibility of defending the reputation of government and all its institutions, as GICOF coordinator John Oyambi expounds.
Please give the objective part. That's what we are requesting you. Give the objective part so that at the end of the day, you will also be counted. Even in your grave, it will not get cracked. But if every time you are dancing around with every bandwagon, it doesn't work. So we want to request GICOF members to have that social media strength, because you have that media strength.
Leader Kasokoth highlights on a number of events the Bureau is set to undertake in the spirit of celebrating the Africa Statistics Week up to the 22nd of this very month.
I already said we shall have a high-level engagement with members from the education sector in our country so that we can devise key learnings and also celebrate achievements. On Tuesday next week, we shall have what we call skills development. And this is basically for members of staff here. You know, UBOS, as a statistical office, has got various people who form the members of staff. We have the support, and then also we have the core statisticians. So we want to bring them together so that we can share knowledge. What does a communicator do in making a contribution to the statistical development in the institution?
Betty Nawova, the head of media and public relations at UBOS, explains the importance of celebrating the Africa Statistics Week, along with its multiple events, to the development of the society.
During this week, we do disseminate several statistics. We do educate several people. Like today, we have educated the GICOF group, and we shall also educate our own staff. Then we shall also educate other statisticians. Why do we do this? We need we are aiming for the future. The future for statistics is changing, so we need to equip ourselves.
This year's African Statistics Week is happening under the theme, supporting education by modernizing production of fit-for-purpose statistics. Joseph Kabali, UCTV News.
And that's all from our international news wrap. Now let's take a look at what is happening in Today in History. And with the Rome Reports wraps up our Friday edition of UCTV News. I am Sunday Gloria Aboch, and I wish you a blessed weekend.